Boyd, I'm Trin, and welcome to the second air quotes, welcome to the second video of 2025, where I'm going to revisit my makeup inventory. I'm going to revisit my goals from 2024, what my inventory looked like, and what it looks like today. Literally spent 4 hours working on this yesterday, so it's a lot. It's a long haul. I did put on my glasses, so sorry, not sorry for the glare. If you don't like that, I'm not going to apologize. Give this video a dislike if you don't like it. I don't care. Thank you for the engagement. I also did not take pictures of all of my makeup to put it on the screen so I can show you what my makeup actually looks like. I couldn't be bothered to do this. I don't want to do it last weekend. I don't want to do it this weekend. We're just going to talk numbers. So this is sort of it's a makeup inventory. I did a low buy finale video, but I didn't talk like numbers about my low buy. So today, not only we're doing an inventory, but we're also talking about the low buy numbers and goals. So give this video a like, give it a dislike, and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Starting in 2024, I had 3 primers. My goal was 1 in, 1 out, and as of today, I have 4 primers. So I didn't list how many primers so for like majority of these categories, I mentioned how many I used up. I used up a lot of primers this year, and my numbers say yes, I do have 4 primers. So I have the e.l.f. Liquid Flawless Putty Primer. I have a mini of the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. There's a lot of e.l.f. Half my collection is e.l.f., I swear. I have the e.l.f. Stay Cool Primer Stick and the Danessa Myricks Mattifying Serum. I can see myself just decluttering the Danessa Myricks Serum because it's supposed to be mattifying. It does absolutely nothing for my skin. I did use it at least 50 times last year. It was a Project Pan goal, so I know how I feel about it, and I still don't like it. So that might be decluttered. And when I say decluttered, let's be honest. This shit is going in the trash. I'm not going to even lie that I'm going to pass it along to a friend. No, we're not even going to play that game. We're not. It's just going in the garbage. So if I declutter this, it's going to be a waste of money. It's going to go in the trash. My brain is like, oh, you should try using it up, but it does absolutely freaking nothing. So why am I putting additional products on my face? Make that make sense. Foundations. The goal was 2 in, 1 out. I started the year off with 7, so my goal was to lower that number. I still have 7 because I did not stick to my low buy rules of 2 in, 1 out. I did use up 6 though. So I did go through a lot of foundations last year, and I do plan on using a lot of foundations this year. But the way I'm going to do my overarching 2025 goal is just to use makeup products that I love. I don't have any numerical goals for the year. I just want to use products I love and care about. And at the end of the year, if I use up foundations this year, great. I'm so happy and so proud of me. But I'm not going to force myself to use up makeup that I just don't like. I'm not doing that in 2025. So my overarching 2025 goal is to use makeup that I love. If I use up makeup, great. If I don't, if it's been 3-4 months and I still haven't reached for a product, bye-bye, going in the trash. Concealers was the same rule, 2 in, 1. The same concealer rule was also 2 out, 1 in. I somehow used up 6 and I have 7. What I realized in 2024 is that I like testing foundations because I do work 12-hour shifts. I have makeup on for 14 plus hours. So I do like doing foundation wear tests. I did a concealer ranking like in May, and that was fine, but it was also like, do I really need to do a concealer wear test? Do I really need to? So my goal is to use up a lot of concealers this year. But and I don't imagine myself, I only can see myself decluttering 1 concealer, and that's because of age, which is the e.l.f. Color Correcting Eyeliner Concealer. But I have been using this concealer a lot in December, and I plan to continue using it. So my brain is like, you should try using it up, but it's also like, it's really old. It's really hard to use up a potted color corrector. So I don't, this is kind of like a, we'll see how it goes. I can't imagine, honestly, using up any concealer anytime soon. Here's why. I really fell in love at the end of last year. This is part of the problem, is that I have a little basket over here of all my foundations and I still can't find anything, even though I only have 7 foundations and I only have 7 concealers in there. So the Merit complexion stick, I use this both as a foundation and a concealer, but I have it only in the foundation category. I use it all over my face, blend it out, and then I apply more products to my under eyes and like my T-zone where I want more coverage, because I do have a little bit of redness in my skin. So I'll go in with this again to build up coverage. It does great. And then when I do use this, oftentimes I will go in with the e.l.f. color corrector as like to use a concealer, just to say I'm using one. But I actually do like the combo of these two products, so maybe that's what we're doing. I'll put these away. Okay, powder I was on a no buy until I had 6 powders. I started the year with 8. I used up 11 powders last year. Granted, I go through powder very quickly because I use a metric ton of powder. I have very oily skin and I'm setting my face with as much powder, probably too much powder. I'm probably setting my face with far too much powder, and I don't care because I love powder. Ending the year with 4. So I don't know if I did the no buy until I had 6, but I'm ending the year under 8, so I'm very proud of myself. And I do want that number to go down in 2025. My goal is to only have 3. So an under eye setting powder, which will probably now and for forever, at least for the rest of this year, be the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I did use up 2 of those last year. I used up the light that I repurchased as the pink, and then I realized the pink doesn't do any pink, so I repurchased the light again. And then I have the CoverGirl Press Blurring and Wrinkle, the purple CoverGirl purple powder. When I use it up, I'm not going to repurchase it. I have the Catrice loose powder that I am purposely saving for summer because it is a lifesaver in the summer. It is a holy grail during the summer. So I'm not actively using that consistently. So my actual goal for this powder is going to be down to 3, because once I use up the CoverGirl for pressed powders, I'm only going to have the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation, and that's going to be my only pressed powder. So goal is to get that down to 3. I don't want to try any powders. I just don't care. Setting spray. I did not have a goal. In the beginning of the year, it wasn't an issue. I started the year off with 2. I used up 4, and now I'm down to 1. I used up the e.l.f. green setting spray, like their Urban Decay All Nighter dupe, which I really loved. And then I've just used up the Pixi Rosewater Mist, which I still don't know if they do anything for my skin, but I like it. So my brain is like, once I use up the Pixi, do I go back to the e.l.f. spray just to have a full-time setting spray? But I'm also like, do I need a setting spray at all? So that's where I'm at with setting spray. So we might have 0 at the end of the year, but we won't go higher than 1. Bronzer. This is where we're going into like usage goals. I started the year off with 10. The goal was to hit, and before I could purchase a new one, I had to hit pan or use a bronzer 50 times. I used up 2 bronzers this year, and I hit pan 2, 3. That's up in the air. Like numerically, that's up in the air because I count the Kaleidos Contour Bronzer Trio. I hit pan 4 according to this. So I don't remember the other ones I hit pan on, but I used up the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand, repurchased it to get the milk. I hit pan in the Milani Cream Bronzer. Once I hit pan on that, I bought ColourPop Laguna Beach. Regret purchasing that. I used up Milani in December and November. I used it up at the very end of the year. And I still have the ColourPop Laguna bronzer, so it's like I'm gonna use that up and then repurchase the Milani because that's a holy grail. So here's where the numbers get a little bit iffy, because I did hit pan in the Kaleidos bronzer, and then recently I hit pan the contour shade. In my face palettes category, I did also hit pan in the Midas Rip Dawn. It was the Midas collab with Neon MUA, the lightest contour palette, so I did hit pan in that bronzer as well. And then I hit pan in my NYX Better Melt bronzer. So I hit a lot of bronzer goals. Like I said, started the year off with 10. My goal was to have less than 10. I only have 6. I also decluttered 2 bronzers. For sure I decluttered the Milk bronzer stick because that smelled like Play-Doh, and that had to go because it was old AF. And then I don't remember on top of my head what the other bronzer I decluttered. Blush was also a goal of pan or 50 uses. My goal, I had, whoa, do I not have how many blushes I started with the year? I think I started off the year with 34 blushes. Yes, I started off the year with 34 blushes. I ended the year with 34 blushes. I decluttered, do I have a declutter number? I hit this. I didn't do as many numbers as I did. So I hit pan. So usage goal, or to repurchase a new one, was pan or 50 uses. I hit pan on my About Face Cream blush and a blush in the Barrier Hot Drop palette. I don't include the e.l.f. Barrier Hot Drop palette in my blush category. So technically, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my face palettes, because it's like I hit pan the e.l.f. Barrier Hot Drop palette, but that palette also has 3 blushes, so it's like 37 blushes, and I have 2 in Hourglass, and I have 1. I have more brushes. I do have more brushes. I need to declutter my brushes. I have a lot more I have 34 individual blushes, but I did hit pan in the e.l.f. Barrier Hot Drop, so you can argue that I hit pan 3 blushes. I used up 1 blush entirely, but that was a blush I brought into my collection this year. I used up the mini of the Natasha Denona Pillow Talk lipstick, so I moved that. Once I used it up as a bullet, I scraped it all out, put it in a lip mask jar, added it to my blush collection, and then used it up. On 4 blushes this year, I hit 50 uses. And then, but overall, numbers aren't adding. I'm looking at all these numbers and I'm getting confused. For 4 blushes, I hit 50 uses. I bought 7 new blushes though. Apparently I decluttered 8 and the math isn't mathing on that. So 4 blushes that I bought this year are NYX Better Melt blushes, and I use those. Did I even do a powder blush today? I don't think I did. I forgot. Oops. I'm all done. Because I always use a cream blush and I always use a powder blush. Some days I forget to use a powder blush. So out of my 4 NYX Better Melt blushes, I used them 82 times overall. And the reason why I'm including that stat is because I use the NYX Better Melt blushes not every single day since I bought them, but I use them very frequently, and I focus on the shade Butter Together because this is like my perfect everyday pink blush. So that's gotten the most usage, but I'm including that as a whole because of how often I use those blushes. I use them 80 times overall. So did I go over? So I could have purchased 5 blushes this year. I bought 7. So I broke my low buy goals for that. But here's the frustrating part. There are 4 blushes in my collection that I didn't use one time. Not a single time. I'm frustrated by that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that yet, because my brain is like, just throw them away because you didn't use them at all. But my brain's like, but what if I use them in 2025? We'll get to that in some other video about what I'm going to do to solve that problem. Highlighter. My goal for this one was also pan or 50 uses. My goal was to have less than 15. I started with 12, and I have 12. I hit pan in 1, which was the Catrice highlighter. I did 50 uses for 2 highlighters, and I didn't have this, but I think I decluttered 2 highlighters, and it's about to be a third, and it's about to be a fourth. Because both are really freaking old, and one I haven't confirmed, but I'm probably going to say goodbye to the Aura Glow Lust. I'm afraid to smell it because I know it smells really bad. I recently decluttered the e.l.f. Halo Glow Wand, the Halo Glow Liquid Filter, because it smelled absolutely disgusting. Sarah Rose just did a video where she said she had to declutter it because even though she loved the product, it started smelling really old, and I've had mine way longer than she has it. So I was like, I should give it a sniff test, and it smelled disgusting. So I did declutter that one for sure. Brows, I didn't even do numbers at 2024 in the beginning. I didn't even do a single number. So I don't know what, and I didn't do a specific number because I had so many random brow gels that I just hadn't used in months, because at the very beginning of this year I had neutral hair color, but then I went colorful. The past 3 years I have beat the shit out of my hair because I just kept changing my hair color. So I started using, and all my brow gels were tinted, I started using eyeshadows for my brow colors. So I had a lot of pencils and brow gels that I just wasn't using, so I didn't count them because I was like, I'm not using them, I don't know what's going on. So I threw away a bunch of brow products this year. I didn't have a goal because what the fuck was I doing? Currently I have 2. I can, after my no buy, I can see that number going up to 4 because I realized I do want tinted brow gel, and e.l.f. has come out with a brow blade, a brow pen. So I kind of want to try that because I don't like the way my brows look. My brows are very like IDGAF. They just get the job done, but I kind of want to level up my brow game this year. So if this number goes up to 4, I'm okay with that. Face palettes, I started the year with 5. I didn't have a goal. I don't think I had a goal. I was trying to look for goals. I can't think of anything. I decluttered 1. Elfberry Hot Drop palette was an eyeshadow palette, was in my eyeshadow palette numbers, so I moved that over to face palettes, so I still have 5. I barely used a couple face palettes this year, and I'm ready to get rid of them, so that number will go down this year because they're going in trash. Okay, mascara, I also didn't have a goal. I started off the year with 3, and I'm starting this year with 2. And my goal for the end of the year is to only have 1 mascara. And that's going to be the e.l.f. Lash Extender mascara. I only want to use that mascara. I'm going to use up the 2 mascaras I have and then go back to the e.l.f. Lash Extender. I don't like the e.l.f. Lash Extender because like kind of the mascara rule is like 3 to 6 months. You're lucky to get 3 months with that mascara, but it's only $7. So if I have to spend $7 every 2 months for a mascara, I don't think that's bad, especially if it's my only mascara. Eyeshadow palettes, numbers aren't mathing. Numbers were not mathing here. So I started off 2024 with 83 palettes. I decluttered a lot. My goal was to keep my eyeshadow palettes under 90. The goal, my low buy goals was to cap out at purchasing 14 palettes, and I fluffed up because I forgot that beginning of the year, I told myself that if I buy more than 4 singles at a time, that counts as 1 palette. So so for those numbers, I think I bought 21 palettes. I don't have the numbers entirely, but and then in March I did add an additional goal of if I could buy, I am allowing myself to buy 1 more palette if I hit pan in one of the shadows, and I did that 3 times. And the Natasha Denona Retro palette and my collection of JD Glow singles, which I desperately need to go through. I do count all my JD Glow singles as a singular palette, so I hit pan on one of those, and I counted that as being able to purchase a new palette. And then I also hit pan in one of my Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows from that limited edition quad from last year. I know I decluttered a lot. I don't have the numbers for that. And I'm doing an eyeshadow shop my stash, which will really change that. Really might change those numbers in the first 3 months of the year. Eye primer. Started the year off with 3. the goal was to end of the year in 2. I have 3. I have the NYX glitter glue, which I'm debating on keeping around. It's old. 2, I use it maybe 3 or 4 times a month, so it's not getting a lot of usage out of me because I largely don't use eyeshadow. Largely don't use NYX glitter glue. I have to use a very chunky, flaky shadow to be like, maybe I should use it. So I'm tempted to color that one. And then I have the e.l.f. Lock It Down eyeshadow primer, which I do want to use up this year. And I have the Ulta primer. If I could just have one eye primer by the end of the year, that'd be phenomenal. Liquid eyeshadow. The goal was to keep it less than 10. I started off with 6. How did I end the year with 6? That should be 8. That should be 10. I think I have... Why does it say 6? I used up 2. No, I used up 2, but I thought I bought 3. I thought I did a really good job taking these notes yesterday. Apparently not. Numerically, according to my notes, I only have 6 eyeshadow. I know I have more than that. And I'm not going to count them right now. But my goal was less than 10. I have a maximum of 10, so I completed the goal. I didn't have a use up goal. There are 2, all of my liquid eyeshadows are from About Face. And the 2 that I'm tempted on decluttering or trying to use up is the Fractal eye paints. They just dry up so quickly. I don't even know if I want to remove the stopper because I don't use them so much. So I wouldn't be getting my money's worth out. All these products, if I throw them away, I'm not getting my money's use out of them, but it is what it is. So I'm tempted of just like decluttering those because I don't want to remove the stopper. And a 2025 goal in general is to say if I can't remove the stopper of a product easily, I'm just not going to do it. I can't be bothered doing that. I'm not going to force myself to remove a stopper. If it's empty without doing that, if I can't remove the stopper, then so be it. I'm going to count it as an empty. Eyeshadow singles. My goal was hit pan in 2, then I could buy a new one. I started the year off with 21. My goal was to have it under 20. I decluttered 7. I hit pan in 2, if I didn't already say that. And then I added far too many because I bought the Clionadh collection of singles, which I added, which according to like how I inventory my palettes, I should have put all the Clionadh singles as a palette. So I might change that up for 2025 and just do that. But when I bought the Clionadh singles, I included them, I put them in the individual singles category, which brought me up to 28. So that number might go down if I move Clionadh into a palette, into the palette category. Just saying. And then I skipped a category, so we're going to skip over here. Eyeliners. My goal was, so it's eyeliner shadow sticks. The expectation was to have, before I could buy a new one, was 2 empty or use an eyeliner 40 times. My goal was to have less than 40. And I started the year off with 30. I ended the year with 34, so I do have less than 40. I used up 7 and I used 2 40 times. I'm not doing the division math because I can't be bothered to do math anymore. I'm overdoing math. I went through 3 NYX Epic. I went through like 2 NYX Epic ink eyeliners and then an Il Makiage Epic ink liner. Not Epic, they're Il Makiage felt tip liner. I don't have the Il Makiage felt tip liner included in this number, but between all of my NYX Epic ink eyeliners, I used it 175 times. So I think according to the usage goal, I probably followed the usage goal just because I used that eyeliner 175 times between 3. Okay. I can see myself decluttering some eyeliners this year because I didn't write it down, but there was a lot. I didn't use it all, and I didn't use them all because I was like, you're old, I don't want to use them. Then why are they part of my inventory? They just need to be tossed because they're hella old. Okay, let's start with Libby's. Libby's is closer rug. Because at the beginning of the year, I started with 27. And with this number, it included lipsticks, liquid lipsticks. I only have 2 liquid lipsticks. Bold lipsticks, only have 3 now. Maybe. And then I also, because that was a small category, I combined it with lip glosses and oils. I realized that was stupid very early in the year. So I divided lipsticks and lip glosses. My goal for lippies as a whole was to have less than 30. I have 38 at the end of the year. So I have 15 lippies. I just call them lippies. That is lipstick, bullet lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, lip stains. I think that's it. So I have 15 of those. And I have 23 lip glosses / lip oils. I used up 1 gloss and 3 in the Liffies category, and I don't know which 3 I used up. I really have no idea, except for the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. I don't know what I used up, but according to numbers, I used up 3. So, and my Lippies rule was 30 or 40 uses, and I don't think I hit 40 uses on a single lip product. I know I hit 40 uses. Okay, yeah, so I did 30. That's still, I still don't fucking believe that. I only used 1 lippy over 40 times, which was the NYX XXL liquid lipstick in the shade Expose Me. I use that at least like 2 or 3 times a month. I use it a lot more than 2 or 3 times a month. It's just, it's like, this is Milani Secret, their bullet lipstick. This is a Milani bullet lipstick in the shade Secret. And then Expose Me is pretty much the same color. And for work, I will pick that over Secret because of the longevity. If I use up Expose Me this year, I'm repurchasing it, hands down. Lip liners. The goal was 20 uses before I could buy a new one. I had 12 at the beginning of the year. My goal was less than 10. I still have 12 lip liners. So, but I'm allowing this to be okay because I had 2 over 20 uses. And I used the NYX lip liner in the shade Natural 125 times. I think it's going to be empty by the end of January. And by empty, I mean I can't sharpen it anymore. It was in a project pan. I incorporated it into my project pan. And I'm going to do I'm calling it a finale. And we'll do a project pan finale. And I am hoping, like, if it's not finished by the finale, it's going to be finished like 3 days after the finale. And then I use the NYX, I have a lot of NYX. I use the shade Sandstorm 50 times. That is, Secret or NYX Natural is like this color, so I use it with like Secret, Milani, and NYX all the freaking time. That's my go-to lip liner. I will use Sandstorm, which is a very borderline concealer lipstick or lip liner. I will use that. Let me restart the camera. NYX Sandstorm. It is, I can reach it, but Moose is on me and I don't feel like serving him. That lip liner is almost like a concealer color. I really like using, I will be it's going to be very easy to just replace Natural with Sandstorm because even though they're 2 different colors, they do the same thing, they do the same job, so I don't see myself replacing NYX Natural immediately, maybe some point in the year, but I have Sandstorm and they're completely different colors, but for me it's like close enough to where I can just deal with both. So, use Sandstorm 50 times. I will move eyeliner. I moved it to my eyeliner cup, but I haven't moved it out of the category. But there is a lip liner that I have been using as an eyeliner as of late, so I just need to switch it with categories. So, use them Natural, move that lip liner into my lip liner or to my eyeliner category. Will still keep me at 12 because I need to move products around. But I don't see myself using up. I used up 3 I know for a fact I used up one lip liner this year. I know for a fact I used up one lip liner. I just didn't write it down. So even though I'm still over 10, for my low buy goals, I'm still content with 12. I know I'm going to go through at least natural and move one over, which I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. I don't think 12 lip liners are really that much. I might declutter a few if they look too repetitive, which I can actually pass those off. So I might do that, but I'm also really content with my lip liner number. Did I break my low buy for it? I didn't even write down how many I purchased this year. I bought at least 4 lip liners. At least 4. I didn't, some categories, like you can tell, so many categories I took long notes, in some categories I was like, whatever. Numbers. Okay, let's try to wrap this up. I'm tired of talking. I did a video before this. I'm filming this video now. I'm tired of talking. So let's wrap this up with lip prep. Lip prep was 1 in, 1 out. I started the year with 30. I'm ending the year with 30. I used up the Lawless Forget the Filler lip mask. I don't remember what scent that was, but I did use it up. I used up the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil, the clear one. And then I used up, spoilers for my Project Pan update, I did use up the ColourPop Pokeball lip mask. So I did 1 in, 1 out. I think at some point I had 4 lip masks or lip preps, but I still used up 30, so that's good. I can't. My third one, which I'm really debating figuring out what to do with this, I need to wrap this video up because I need to charge my. I need to wrap this up. If this video cuts off, it cuts off, and I'm calling the video over. I repurchased, to replace e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil, I purchased the ColourPop So Juicy lip oil. I don't like this as much as the e.l.f. So I need to figure out something to do with this. I don't know what, but I need to figure out something to do with this because I don't like using it as lip prep. Okay, so then a little bit some extras. I have 2 lippies that I just keep on my desk for when my makeup's off and I'm playing video games. I want something on my lips. My vanity's too far away. I don't want to reach out for a lip product. So I have a Lawless chapstick basically that I keep on my desk, and then included in desk lippies is the ColourPop Pikachu PH lip balm, which I actually keep in my purse now. So I need to move that into another category too. I used the Lawless Marshmallow Chapstick 62 times. I used the ColourPop Pikachu PH Lip Balm 11 times. Bonus rounds. Sunscreen. I think I started the year with 1. I used up 8. It was the Bliss sunscreen. I did buy the Hero sunscreen in the summer and I hated it, so I didn't repurchase it. I used up 8 of the Bliss sunscreens. One's about to be used up probably tomorrow. Between all my sunscreens, I used sunscreen 154 times. That's a lot. Granted, it's not even half the year, but I know for a fact that since I've gone into makeup 154 times out of the year to apply sunscreen, I know that's the most I've ever done. So I'm moving in the right direction. Unsung goal. I'm gonna miss sunscreen. I want to say the goal is to use sunscreen literally every day, but I need to buy a new one. And I don't know when I'm going to the grocery store next, so I might have to go a day or 2 without sunscreen. But okay, let's just say a sunscreen goal is to use a sunscreen 300 times in 2025. Let's make that a goal. So, do I have a grand total of how many makeup products I have? I don't. I forgot to do math. I know for a fact I started the year off with 298 lip products. Not lip products. I started the year off with 298 products in my collection as a whole. I didn't do the math. Maybe I'll put it right here. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll put it in the description box. Maybe I won't. So my goal for my collection as a total was to have less than 200 or less than 300 makeup products. So I don't know if I achieved that goal because I didn't do the numbers and math. I was staring at this all day yesterday. I was sick of doing that. So 2025 goals. Hopefully I don't get cut off. First off, I'm doing a 3-month no-buy. After my 3-month no-buy, we will evaluate about purchasing new makeup. How I feel about it, what I want to continue doing. But the biggest 2025 goal is just to use products that I love. If I don't love a product, why am I forcing myself to use it? I don't want to force myself to use any makeup products in my collection. I just want to use what I love. So if that means throwing away some makeup, that means throwing away some makeup. If that means putting makeup into a memories box, that means putting makeup into a memories box. I just want to use what I love this year. I don't want to force myself to do I don't want to force myself to do hate panty projects. That's not what I want to do. I want to use makeup products that I love. So, before my camera battery dies, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Like, dislike, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Bye.